Hello and welcome back, I'm Sean. I love drones and I've been flying DJI for a long time, but today I'm going to show you a drone that won't break the bank, but at the same time, it's pretty awesome. So let's check it out. So the first thing I love about this drone is the ease to fly this thing, and whether or not you've been flying drones for a while or it's just starting to pick up the hobby, I think this is a simple, easy to use, beginner friendly drone that you can use, and the controls are also very intuitive and easy to learn. Another thing I absolutely love about this drone is the build quality that you get with this, and it's top-notch stuff. From the moment you open the box to the bag that you receive, the build quality of the drone, the battery pack, everything is just simply shouting quality. And I don't want to be drawing a lot of comparisons to other brands, but as a DJI owner, I can attest that the Potensic Atom that we have here is pretty much on par with the quality you get with drones like the DJI Mini series of drones. So the next area that I love is the hot swappable batteries. Well, what I mean by that is that if your drone battery is inside a folded drone like this, there isn't the need to unfold the wings to reach it at the side to clamp it and then to pull it out. So all you need to do is just press on this button here and you can actually pull out the battery of the drone. Very hot swappable, very easy to use. And speaking of the battery, I've been getting great flight time with this drone, and Potensic gives the drone about 32 minutes of flight time per battery, and that's pretty accurate in my experience. And personally, when I fly my drones to get specific footages, I don't constantly fly my drone for 30 minutes straight, but usually I'll deploy, get the shot, and move on to the next scene. So with the fly more combo that you get here, a total of 96 minutes of flight time is plenty of time to get your footage throughout the day. And another area that I'm truly impressed is with this drone. Although it's very small, its ability to fly in strong wind situations is really impressive. And the Potensic Atom is rated at level 5 out of 12 for wind resistant, meaning it would withstand winds upwards of 21 miles per hour or around 33 kilometers per hour. Very impressive, and you can see footage how it tries to stay level while flying. And with that said, the 3-axis gimbal is great in a small drone like this and tries its best to keep the drone footage stable as much as possible. But I do notice when flying this in extremely high wind situations, like around a mountains, around Genting Highlands, the gimbal does try its best to compensate, but you only get so much mechanical leverage. So another great feature that I love is the Potensic app, and this is honestly in line with industry-leading apps. Everything you see on screen, the navigation, the controls, everything is just well laid out and easy to use even for beginners. So and finally, my favorite, you get to shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second, so you can easily add this to your travel videos with 4K timelines with no specific drop in quality, and you also get a pretty decent 1/3 inch Sony CMOS sensor with this drone. So honestly, that is quite a long list of the things that I really like about this drone, but here are some areas that I think the drone can improve. So first of all, I don't think you can see it here, but I'll add a close-up footage of it. The build quality inside the drone, and if you can look closely inside here, you see cables that are just placed there. It doesn't look like there's much protection to those cables. Honestly, not an electrical expert. From what I can see, I think this looks kind of exposed and can kind of be cleaned up a little bit more so that the inside here doesn't look as cheap. Secondly, the thing that I don't really like is that when you export footage directly from the app, I personally like to sometimes edit my videos on my iPhone or my iPad, and the maximum resolution that you can export from the app itself is 720p, which is not the full 4K quality, which I think is a missed opportunity here, meaning I need to always connect this to my laptop or to get a separate reader for my phone or my tablet in order to use this, and I can't transfer them wirelessly. So thirdly is the footage quality at night, but this is pretty understandable, and only until very recently that drone sensors have been good enough for low light shooting, so this is totally understandable, especially for a budget-friendly drone like this. And lastly, this is kind of like an obvious one, but the lack of sensors around the drone means you always need to have line of sight when flying your drone and when performing quick shots, so make sure you're in an open area that you can always see the drone and intervene when necessary. So with that said, this drone comes in at a very budget-friendly price of $280 or about 1,200 Malaysian ringgit for just the Atom, the remote, as well as one battery that comes together with it. And if you opt for the Fly More combo, you're going to get a charging base that holds 3 batteries as well as 2 additional batteries along with the one inside the drone. You also get a bag with all the spare propellers inside. So with that, you're looking at $350 or about 1,600 ringgit Malaysian, which is pretty good value for a full-featured 4K drone. So if you find value in what you hear and like what you see so far, I hope you can support the channel by considering to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so the YouTube algorithm can pick this up. And if you want to buy this drone, do check out my links below. So how would your shots look like when filming with this drone? So overall footage from the Atom is pretty okay, with decent 4K shots out of the camera, and although it looks great, it still comes with a slightly over-sharpened look that you get with smaller camera sensors, and I tried looking around the drone settings to reduce the sharpness, but I can't seem to find that. So 4K shots in bright sunny days looks really crisp and clear, and very fluid and consistent footage from the camera itself. And the footage has decent color, but I feel a little color grading would help the footage pop a little bit more, because the footage out of the camera does look like it has very high contrast, straight out of the camera. Don't get me wrong, I think it's still pretty good footage, but color grading and post-processing is mainly based on personal preference. So night footage is a little soft in my opinion, and I generally believe you wouldn't fly this at night. Number one, you won't have direct line of sight of the drone, so it's unsafe or even illegal to fly at night at some countries. And secondly, the footage you get here will definitely be a little bit softer, and where it looks like the ISO is kind of boosted quite a bit to get the footage exposed properly. So one of the features that I really love, and I do respect Potensic for developing the algorithm for this drone, is the quick shot features. But disclaimer, you need to use this feature carefully and in line of sight, since there are no sensors on this drone to detect obstacles around you. So you get 5 different types of quick shot, which are really easy to access and use. So first, you select the quick shots that you want, and inside just choose what you want to shoot, for example the pull away shot. And next, you drag on the screen and select what you want to track, and the drone uses Potensic own tracking algorithm to follow the selected object. And I'm pretty impressed that even when the building that I've selected was hidden behind a tree, it continued to track it with no problem. And once the quick shot is done, it'll fly back to its original start point and waits for your next instruction. And that is how easy it is to fly this drone. Also, as I've mentioned many times, make sure that you ensure your drone is higher than the highest point around you before engaging quick shots, as you don't want to crash your drone from the side when it's trying to fly sideways. Alright, so let's take a look at the design of the drone. And this drone, as I've mentioned, is built fantastically, and the materials used here, build quality, all meets the expectation of way more expensive drones. So with the drone itself, you get a very familiar drone design. I believe you have seen this drone design everywhere around the internet. So at the top here, you're going to get your Potensic branding here, and at the front here, you're going to get a 3-axis gimbal with the 4K 30 frames per second camera with the legs, and the legs of the drone also folds away very easily. And note that with these drones, you need to fold out the front 2 legs first before folding out the rear legs, and this is also the same when you fold them close. So you get the propellers at each of the corners of the drone, and behind it, this is where you get your hot swappable battery slot. So just press here and pull out the battery. You also get a Type-C port directly on the battery itself to charge it up, or you can also pop it onto the charger cradle if you have the Fly More combo. And below the battery right over here is also your micro SD card slot, which supports cards up to 256 gigabytes. Below the drones are 2 sensors, and this is mainly for landing purposes, and some vents here to cool the drone down, as well as a power button and a battery level indicator. So as for the remote, you get your standard stretchy remote here, but this time it goes sideways. And if you want to know whether or not your phone will fit, I'm running an iPhone 14 Pro Max with a pretty decent sized case, and it would fit with this with the cable as well, so no problems with that. But at the end, you get a few more millimeters of space for the phone, which are slightly larger than mine. So with this remote, you get the screw thumbsticks at the bottom here, hidden here, a power button on one side, as well as a return to home or pause button on the other side. And the drone connects via USB-C, so you still need to connect it via cable into your drone. But they also included a very nice slot here so that the cable can sit inside very nicely. And at the top, you also get a 3-position antenna, so 1 position like that, 2nd position, and 3rd position. So depending on the position of your drone, you want the flat side to be facing where your drone is. So if your drone is directly on top, you want to face it down so that it will detect the drone better. So overall, for this price, I think it's great value for money, especially considering the price point of other competitors' drone prices. So this one is great for someone who wants to learn how to fly a proper drone, unlike those vlogging drones like the DJI Neo, but don't want to break the bank as well, but still want great features. Then this drone is definitely for you. So if you want to check out other camera reviews that I've done here on my channel, you can check out my review right over here, and I'll see you over right at that video.